Emergency Preparedness Week is underway across the country. It's a time to take stock of your own personal circumstances to ensure you're ready in case of the worst. Experts say you should not believe you're immune.
It's the time of year the regional district of Fraser-Fort George is starting to think about rising water in the numerous waterways throughout its boundaries.
We see some flooding. People in those areas are aware of it and can prepare for it, but it always kind of changes year to year how much we may see and where the water may end up flooding. So it's a good opportunity to remind people to be prepared.
Landslides in Afghanistan to wildfires racing throughout different areas of the United States. That's what we tend to think of when we think natural disaster. But this region is not immune. Along with flooding, another perennial risk is wildfire.
The risk is there in all communities, including Prince George. You have your railways, you have your highway traffic, your trucking industry, you have your airlines flying in and out of your community. You have potential for extreme weather, you have potential for ice jams, which Prince George has experienced. And these events can happen at any moment, at any time.
Because we tend to think of those kinds of situations happening to someone else, we tend not to think about what we would do in case of an emergency.
Sit down with your family, sit down with your spouse, sit down with your children, and talk about it. Look at your community, look at the potentials in your community, in your neighborhood, and how are you going to respond to it?
The regional district strongly urges families not only to have a plan in place, but the hardware that will help in the form of a ready kit.
Things like, water, non-perishable food. You want to have blankets. You want to have batteries, radio. If you're on medication, you want to make sure you've got some medication. All kinds of different things, even clothing. Every family may be different what they might need, but those are the kind of basic things.
Renee McCloskey says it's also wise to have a similar kit in the family vehicle, as disasters don't always happen when you're at home. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.